France was the first country to introduce the registration plate on August 14, 1893. Due to a genetic mutation, the first blue-eyed humans only began to appear 6 to 10,000 years ago. The Burj Khalifa is the tallest building in the world, standing at 2,700 feet 830 meters. Construction started in 2004 and took 4 years to complete. Naked mole rats are one of the only animals to not get cancer. In 2006, the FBI planted a spy in a Southern California mosque and disguised him as a radical Muslim in order to root out potential threats. The plan backfired when Muslims in the mosque ended up reporting him to the FBI for being a potentially dangerous extremist. There is a Pizza Hut perfume that smells like a fresh box of Pizza Hut pizza when you spray it. In 2012, a man in China named Zhao Fen had 9,999 red roses sewn into a dress for his girlfriend before asking for her hand in marriage. Papaphobia is the fear of the Pope. Tigers, jaguars, and cheetahs are attracted to the cologne obsession by Calvin Klein. Echronology is the study of excretion. The filtration technology used in airplanes is the same technology they use to filter air in hospitals. You can create 170,000 pencils from the average tree. Mandarin is the most spoken language in the world, with 1.1 billion speakers. Humans have 23 pairs of chromosomes, while great apes have 24. The longest someone has been in a coma and come out of it is 37 years. A 6-year-old went to the hospital for a routine appendectomy where she went under general anesthetic and didn't come out for reasons doctors can't explain. It's possible to hire an evil clown to terrorize your son or daughter for an entire week before their birthday. For a fee, artist Dominic DeVille will increasingly pursue your child and leave scary notes, texts, and phone calls, and ultimately attack your child on their birthday by smashing a cake in their face. In Russia, wealthy citizens often hire fake ambulances that beat the city traffic, which are known as ambulance taxis. They can cost as much as $200 an hour, have luxurious interiors, refreshments, and include caviar and champagne. The average person will fall asleep in just 7 minutes. The Lego Brücke is a concrete bridge in Germany that has become famous for being painted to look like a giant bridge made of Lego blocks. One of the clauses in the 1781 U.S. Articles of Confederation states that if Canada wants to be admitted into the U.S., it'll be automatically accepted. Hot water freezes quicker than cold water. This is called the Mpemba effect, named after a Tanzanian student who discovered it. As of 2019, Apple has sold over 1 billion iPhones. On April Fool's Day in 1989, billionaire Richard Branson designed a hot air balloon to look like UFO and hired a dwarf in an ET costume to come out and scare whoever was near it when it landed. Watching your favorite movie over and over is good for you. The repetition calms you because knowing the outcome of a story helps you to feel safe in an unpredictable world. It also helps comfort you by recapturing lost feelings, according to a study in 2012 by Crystal Antonia Russell and Sydney J. Since 1978, 37 people have died by vending machines falling on them. 13 people are killed annually, all this while trying to shake merchandise out of them. 113 people have been injured. Frosting is a buttery, thick coating for a cake, while icing is a sugary, thin glaze that hardens when dry. Before a hurricane, Walmart will fill their stores with strawberry Pop-Tarts. This is a result of their data mining and finding that stores sold 7x more strawberry Pop-Tarts before the storm. Coffee loses caffeine as it is roasted, so a dark, bold cup of coffee actually has less caffeine than a lighter roast. Citizens in Estonia are given an ID card that includes a public or private key pair, allowing users to cryptographically sign digital documents. People of the Mongol Empire never washed their clothes or themselves due to their belief that washing would pollute the water and anger the dragons that controlled the water cycle. In Poland, near Gryfino, a mysterious forest has 400 pine trees, all with a 90-degree bend at the base of their trunks, all facing northward. There was a documented experiment where someone survived an acceleration of over 46 grams. John Stapp actually lived on to the age of 89. But did suffer vision damage from the experiments. Candid Camera host Alan Funt was once on a flight that was hijacked and flown to Cuba. Because everyone on the plane recognized him, they thought it was part of a stunt and didn't really realize the gravity of the situation they were in. They started enjoying themselves and gave the hijacker a standing ovation. The act of hitting something until it works is called percussive maintenance. After the extinction of the dinosaurs, there was a turtle that was the size of a car and could eat crocodiles. Many personal checks written by Marlon Brando were often never cashed, as his signature was usually worth more than the amount on the check. Between 1993-98, a majority of U.S. senators were trading stocks and beating the market by 12 percentage points a year on average. By comparison, corporate insiders beat the market by just 5%, and typical households underperformed by 1.4%. Netflix monitors what is being illegally downloaded on BitTorrent and other pirate sites in order to work out what shows they ought to try and purchase. In 2012, an entire city in Zimbabwe was instructed to flush their toilets at the same time to unblock sewers. Some police stations in China use geese instead of guard dogs to keep watch at night. Geese are very territorial and have better vision than humans. The British king or queen has 2 birthdays, their real birth date and one assigned to them during the summer, to ensure better weather for the parade. Children's author Roald Dahl was given a Viking funeral and buried with wine, snooker cues, pencils, and a power saw. In 1998, New York City had to recall pencils with the message "too cool to do drugs" on them because as they were sharpened, they'd say "cool to do drugs" and "do drugs," etc. The Wright brothers hated the first director of the Smithsonian Institution, who claimed that he flew before them. If the Smithsonian ever gives credit to earlier claims of controlled and powered manned flight, the Wright brothers' plane must be returned to Orville's estate. It's possible to replace a lost thumb with a toe, and that the first successful toe-to-thumb transplant was performed in 1964. On a rhesus monkey, the first human was 1972. In contrast to the Royal Navy, Royal Marines and Royal Air Force, the British Army does not include royal in its title because, after a historic struggle between Parliament and monarchy, the British Army has always been answerable to Parliament and the British people rather than the monarch. In Hungary, you're legally allowed to name your child from a pre-approved list of names. If you want to name them something else, you need to submit an application. The oldest unbroken alliance in the world is between England and Portugal, dating back to 1373. Information travels in the nerves at speeds up to 268 miles per hour, 4 to 9 kilometers per hour. Odin, a central character in Norse mythology, used 2 ravens named Thought and Memory to bring him news from around the world. The word axon comes from the Greek word meaning axle or axis. The giant anteater has no teeth. It is estimated that more than 7 million people become blind every year. The human retina contains approximately 120 million rods and 6 million cones. Rods are cells used in dim light. Cones are cells used for color vision. The octopus is colorblind.